Welcome back to John's Dungeon Corner here at the Collective Adventurers. Boy, have I got a show for you guys today. This is going to be really neat. I don't even know where to start because I'm so excited. But today we're going to talk about all things Dungeon Master. So if you're a player, you can watch, you can listen, but forget everything I said. No, I'm just kidding, because one day you might want to be a Dungeon Master yourself. So, what do we need a Dungeon Master? Look, I got my assistant. This is my brother. Come over here. This is my brother, Willie. Love him to death. He's down here from New York. He played in a game last night. And well, we ain't going to talk about what happened because that's a secret. But it was a lot of fun. Anyways, all right, so we're going to become a Dungeon Master. What's the first thing we got to do? We need a book called The Dungeon Master's Guide. Really nice book. Oh, let me get out of there. There you go. It's really nice. It's full of information. All kinds of, yeah, I'm opening it up so you can kind of see it. Over the shoulder, you can read over my shoulder, huh? Like in school, looking for the answers to the test. I know, you guys know what I'm talking about. Look at it, it's got all the magical items. Remember, I love magical items. Okay? Neat thing about this book is it kind of gives you the guidelines. Remember, the rules, Gary Gygax once said, these are just guidelines to have fun with. And I'm paraphrasing, okay? But great guy, him and his brother, Ernie, created the game with the help of their friends. And here we are, what? Woo! 40, 50 years later, maybe? No. Yeah, about 40 years later, still playing D&D, and it's 5th edition. Awesome. So I'm going to come back to this. But for now, that's all you need to know. Everything you need for the rules, the guidelines to the game are right in here, okay? So this is kind of serves as your foundation. Now, after that, we got to sit there and remember last week we talked about players and all the cool things, players, all the different classes. Well, you got to have monsters. You got to have those guys for encounters. So they came out with this cool book, The Monster Manual. Now check this one out. This has all kinds. Oh, of course I opened up to the page with dragons. Let's not deal with dragons. Although it is called Dungeons and Dragons. All right, but here we go. All right, so we got the, okay, back to the dragons. Good grief, now the black dragon. All right, so we got elves. We got drow elves in here. We got gargoyles. We got the gnolls. Fun stuff, fun stuff. The Kraken, a sea adventure would be cool. We got lizard folk, go to swamps, orcs, a mountain campaign. Maybe they're assaulting the elven forest. Maybe they're attacking the village. I mean, orcs, they're the villains of almost every campaign, right? I love them, by the way. They come in so many different sizes and shapes and forms. They're great villains. Okay, so, and of course, for your players, now, Dungeon Masters, you don't have to have this book in here with you. I would always suggest having one in case a player shows up that doesn't have one and you need to help them put together their own character. And like I said last week, this is all things player character, from their race to their class to their equipment, their background, their magic spells in that, their special abilities. That's all in the player's handbook. So those 3 books, I would say, are your core books for Dungeon Master. And remember, there's a special edition set. I'm not going to bring it out here because obviously, I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I'm going to get one myself. I haven't gotten one yet. Beautiful covers, special edition covers. All right. So now I'm a Dungeon Master. Well, what do I do next? Okay, so I got my books. I got to get some miniatures. You don't need miniatures, but it makes the game fun. But I'm going to come back to miniatures because the next thing that we have to have is, drum roll, please. Drum roll. Come on. We need, dun, dun, dun. We need dice. Lots of dice. Remember this? I'm not going to spill them out again, but these are my Dungeon Mastering dice. I'll put them up here. Okay? Now, you're probably wondering, what is that big old thing that he has spread out in front of him? Well, we'll talk about that in just a second, but we got to have dice. I got my own DM dice. They're black and multicolored because I love colors. I bought these. Like I said, the Collective has everything you need here. Dice of every color, size, and shape. So, in front of me is what we call, well, what I call my Dungeon Master screen. This is custom made. It's a Dungeon Master dice tower. It was made by Sawdust Woodcrafting out of California, and I got it through Etsy. This isn't something you come here and get. And I got it because actually my wife got it for me as a gift, and I love it. She's actually going to stain it purple for me so it looks very dark and drowish because I love purple and black together. It's a great combo. But for anyone else, there are these wonderful reincarnated Dungeon Master screens, okay? And actually, I got permission to open this one for you. Now, there's also the Wilderness Kit one, which I'm not going to open. And there's various ones. Ravnica has its own. Baldur's Gate, I believe, has its own also. So they come out, and they're really helpful when you're running those campaigns. But, so this is your general. Every DM should have one kind of screen. And I get to open it up right in front of you. It's been out for a while, but it's called Reincarnated because they redid the tables. They made them a little bit more legible. And they're in there. Look at this. This is really neat. Look at the outside of this. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Look at that red dragon flying through the sky. If I was a dragon rider, I'd be right on the back going, yeah, let's go burn the village. No, not really. Well, maybe I am the Dungeon Master. So on the inside, when you flip it around, it's got a lot of information for the Dungeon Master. Okay. We talk about the different statuses. What if a character is paralyzed? What if he is stumbled or stunned? Or then we have the travel tables. So there's a lot of information here. Okay. Really nice artwork on the inside. And that's the thing. Like I said, Dungeons and Dragons is beautiful. It's got artwork. Everything is artwork. So, you know what's cool? I can probably put this one on top of this one like that. Look at that, huh? The dragon's flying. Look at that. I love the artwork on that. So, okay. So that's the Dungeon Master screen. Now I'm going to show you my Dungeon Master screen because I want to talk a little bit about it. It's really neat. The reason I got it, that I wanted one, was one. Now I have a dice tower. Watch this. So I want to make my die rolls. Okay, so the orc is attacking you. I roll mine. Now I roll my number. I roll saving throws back here for the monsters, the damage. But by the same token, okay, so let's say I want the players to see something. All right, so your group, you find a chest, and I say, okay, well, I'm going to give it a 50% chance of it be the rogue goes, okay, I'm going to check it for traps. I go, all right, and I say 50 or lower, 50% chance and lower that it's trapped. And I want them to see that. So I rolled. I have no idea what I rolled. Willie, what did I roll over there? Willie's going to help me out today.
You rolled
what?
A 0 and an 80.
Okay, so I rolled an 80%. It's not trapped because I said 50 and lower. But I could have done that just as easily back here. The double digits are the first number. So I could have just done that back here. And then I can kind of decide, okay, I rolled a 74. Do I want to give this rogue a chance since they check for the trap, for it to be a trap, and for them to try to use their expertise in trapping, in trap finding and unlocking locks to do something with that chest other than just, okay, it's not trapped. You know, as a DM, that's some decisions that you got to make. You can make them ahead of time, or you can see what the flow of the game is like and just say, hey, I think I'm going to make this a little bit more harder for him. I'm going to give him a little bit more experience, okay? So, anyway, so there's that. And as a strange hand puts the dice back up. All right, so that's one thing. And the cool thing is, it's got the double dice tower in it. It's got these cool drawers. So this is 1 of 5. I have my dice in 1. But watch this. This is cool. There are these neat things that I have called initiative markers. And I got these online on Etsy, and you can find them anywhere. And you can use different things. I've seen people use, and I've done it. I'll take a note card, fold it over with the characters' names, the monsters, and just put them across my screen. But I wanted to do something a little different. So I'm going to say that for instance, I have a paladin in the group. That's going to be his initiative marker. Here's monster number 1. So here's my first group of monsters right here. And then I'm going to have a bard in the group. And let's see, one more. What's the cool thing to have? Let's see. Let's put, no, not that one. Oh, here we go. Yes, of course. Dun, dun, dun. Where'd he go? Where's my rogue? Oh, there we go. The little mask, dagger, and key. And a rogue. So the initiative, we all rolled initiative. I rolled my initiative back here for my monsters. All right. So we're going to say the paladin got to go first. Then the bard. Then the orcs. And there goes the rogue. And that's my initiative order. Okay. And I just have it up there. And now I know that for this round of combat, The initiative is going to be Paladin, Bard, Orcs, Rogue. And I'll do that. And once that's done, then I just take it down. And once after everybody rolls initiative for next time, I put them back up there in whatever order. I mean, this could change. We can make it to where the Orcs somehow miraculously got ahead of all those elves. And we'll make the Rogue go third here in the initiative. The Paladin can be last this time. We'll put him at the tail end. All right, so the initiative will change initiative to initiative. So that's another drawer that I have with that in there. Okay, so I was talking about miniatures earlier, right? And you know about miniatures. I love miniatures. In fact, behind me are some of the most inspiring and awesome encounters that come pre-made in a box. Okay, so like I have all three of these. I have all the basic sets because the miniatures in them are beautiful and there's an adventure in them. So the first one that I got, and I think came out, was the Goblin Chief. Okay, so this is the Village of the Goblin Chief. Epic encounters. Awesome stuff. You get the miniatures that you see there, which is, I left my glasses. I wasn't supposed to be reading anything, but it has 20 miniatures in it. All right, 20 Goblin miniatures. It has a map and it has a storybook. The adventure is all laid out for you. So this is basically an adventure in a box. Starting DMs, Dungeon Masters, this is your friend to get things going. Okay? This was the Goblin one. You don't want to do goblins. There's the Hall of the Orc King. Okay? And this one, there's also 20 miniatures. And let me tell you, that's a good picture of I want to bring that up because the miniatures are gorgeous. They're casts that are not out. They're not done by Bones, by Reaper, any of them. They did their own. I don't know who did them, but they're beautiful. They're not painted, but you can play with them just as they are. They're gorgeous. I love them. In fact, I own that one too. And then, of course, my favorite, because these are my three favorite monsters to have. Goblins, Orcs, and what adventure is complete without kobolds? So here we have the Shrine of the Kobold Queen. Sometimes them queens can be meaner than the kings. And it also has 20 miniatures. And you can see them there. And they on these, each one of them have riding miniatures. So these guys are riding a snake type, a swamp snake. The other ones, the bears, there's bears in the orc one. You don't see them, but you can actually, the orcs are riding bears, polar bears. This is done in the Arctic. You can do it anywhere, but I just think it's really cool, the setting. Now, from there, let's see. So, from the Shrine of the Kobold Queen, let me make sure I'm not telling you a fib. Yes. We have the next epic encounter, Swamp of the Hydra. And this comes, wait till you see this. It comes with an insanely large Hydra. Oh man, it is just awesome. And this is a continuation, a part 2 per se, a continuation. And then from the Hall of the Orc King, we go to the Caverns of the Frost Giant. Let me put it back here so you can see it. Caverns of the Frost Giant. And look at this Frost Giant. I mean, tell me that's not impressive. That is simply amazing. And this is a continuation. The other one is a red dragon. It's an epic encounter. They're sold out because these things, they can't keep them in. It's just amazing. You can buy them and you have a whole campaign sitting right in front of you. And you can kind of throw things in there in between. So those are some of the miniatures. Of course, I've told you all about the pre-painted miniatures that you can get in a box. Here we have Icons of the Realms, Eberron. These are all painted. Okay. Then we have Volos and Mordenkainen's Foes, Icons of the Realms. Okay. I'm going to put these out here for later so you can kind of still see them. All right. You got the Pathfinder. This is the Darklands Rising. Very neat. And, of course, one of my favorite places to play in, the Rim of the Frostreign, Icewind Dale. This is where the heroes of the Hall come from. Dritz Duerden, Canterbury, Wolfgar, and the Dwarven King, whose name is now eluding me, Brunner Battlehammer. Okay? That's a lot to remember, but I love that stuff. And so, with that being said, Those are miniatures. Those are all the pre-painted miniatures I showed you guys last week. I'm going to show you some of those, though, that come in there, but not yet. So I got 3 more drawers back here. I got a big drawer that I have big monsters in. I have 2 more smaller drawers that have smaller monsters in. But you know what the neat thing is? Not everything is monsters. All right, but I'm gonna go back to this in a second. You know me, I like running around. I got so much stuff to show. Okay, so I mentioned the collective. A couple of things I want to throw out there about the collective. 1, collective has a membership that you can come and get. Has awesome benefits, okay? But I'm not going to tell you about them because this is about Dungeons and Dragons, and the collective membership is good for everything. Comic books, it's good for paints, it's good for everything. Okay, so they got statues here. I mean, they got so much stuff. It's crazy. What did I say? Crazy. All right, so they got a lot of stuff that you can get. So I'm not going to talk about that, but the membership is awesome. It's unbelievable. Also, Wednesday nights we play Dungeons and Dragons here. Okay. Right now, we have 3 dungeon masters. We had 27 players last night. We need another dungeon master. So whether you're just starting out and you want to ply your trade as a dungeon master to your willing victims, your willing players, victims, or you're an experienced dungeon master and want to run your campaign, or you want to run something on a Wednesday night, come on down because we need you. 27 players for 3 DMs. I had 12 players in my game last night. It was crazy. I loved it, though. I ain't going to complain because it was a lot of fun. Okay. And then the last thing is, for all you Magic enthusiasts, now this is where the crossover comes in, okay? Now, Magic has brought out a bunch of unpainted miniatures. And I'm going to go, would you mind getting me a couple of those? They're the Magic miniatures that are unpainted. Yeah. Willie's my assistant today, my brother. He's my younger brother, so I get to boss him around a little bit. But I love him to death, so it's okay. He's going to go get those. They came out with this real nice line of miniatures based on Magic the Gathering, which all you guys know, okay, is a card game, but it's really cool. So, with that being said, Magic the Gathering has launched a Magic the Gathering card set called The Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. And, of course, the collective being on top of everything new, on Friday night at 7 p.m. and on Saturday, 12 noon, they are having the Magic the Gathering D&D Forgotten Realms pre-release, okay? I'm not going to give you the details about it because I don't know. I'm just telling you the times that you need to be here. Okay, so here we go. Here goes some of the Magic the Gathering miniatures. These are the ones that come pre-primed, ready to paint. So there goes a Druid. What are these? This is a Dwarf Fighter and a Dwarf Cleric in a package. See the Magic the Gathering logo up at the top. Here goes some Human Berserkers. You know, really fine detailed miniatures. What do we got here? Oh, a Nahiri. Okay. And of course, Jace, which I believe is a named character. Okay, so they are also coming out with the book. I believe it's based on the world of Magic and one of the worlds that's coming out in October, November, I believe I was told. I don't know a lot about it because I want it to be more of a surprise. I'm going to delve into it a little later and see how much I can fish out information for you guys. But wait, I normally don't do this because this is not, but all things Dungeon and Dragons, right? That's what I said. Check this out. They're let me show you the pre-release boosters. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now, I don't play Magic anymore. I used to, but I'm going to come to it just because, hey, I mean, the Forgotten Realms has always been my favorite of all the D&D worlds, and they have quite a few. There's Greyhawk, there's Eberron, there's the Forgotten Realms, and of course, and then there's your own worlds, which now this is what's going to take me back into the DM's guide. But there they are. Look at that. The beautiful, even the artwork, just the artwork on the booster packs is really cool. There it is, the Forgotten Realms, Dungeons and Dragons, Forgotten Realms. Okay, so once again, it's Friday night at 7 tomorrow and Saturday at noon. And I'll probably see you at one, both, or both. Either or both. That's what I should have said. Yes. So there's that. Okay. So now where do I want to go from here? Back to the DM's guide. Right. Why? Because we were talking about all those various worlds, right? So we got Forgotten Realms. We've got Greyhawk, which was the earlier worlds. We've got Eberron. Okay, the main thing is inside this book. Let's say you play in them and you're like, oh, I really want to do my own thing. How do I do my own thing? Well, right here in the DM's guide, this is wonderful because it is the Dungeon Master's guide. And, well, you are the Dungeon Master, right? Here it comes. You can start from scratch. Chapter 1, A World of Your Own. The big picture. Core assumptions. It's your world. So it takes you step by step. Here we go. The gods of your world, the loose pantheons. And it goes on into humanoids and the gods. And mapping your campaign. The province scale, the continent scale. I mean, it can go from as small or as big. Kingdom scale. It talks about the different settlements. The purpose of the settlement. I mean, it just goes in depth. Over here, you talk about the forms of government. What kind of currency you're going to use. Commerce. So you can get into as much detail as a little detail as you want with your world. You can flesh it out as you go. There are so many ways. But what I want to say to you is that it's not something that's impossible. If you can think it, you can do it. That's what Dungeons and Dragons is really about. If you can think it, you can do it. It's all in your mind. Everything else is just a tool to help you make it more. That's what I like to say with a lot of things. More. So we've talked about that. Let me see what's back here. Oh, and I remember telling you about these Dungeon Masters. If you're just starting out, this is great for players that are just starting out, but it's also great for Dungeon Masters. And I'm talking about the starter set. We talked about these in depth about three or 4 weeks ago. These are wonderful, and they work both ways. A starting Dungeon Master can take the booklet that's in here, the campaign, and run it for a couple, 2 or 3 sessions easily, maybe even 4, depending on how often you meet, how long you play for. And then in the Essentials kit, I remember I showed you it has the map with Phandelver, the Phandelver map that has all the adventures around it, the mines of Phandelver, and the adventure that starts off in the first book. You can continue it here. It gets a little bit more gritty here, so it's really nice. But it's something that you can continue. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I really don't usually tell prices, but this box is only $20 to get you going in Dungeons and Dragons. This was $24.99, $20 and $25. If you put them together, you've got a campaign that you can stretch out. So I like to let you guys know about that because it's not that big of an investment. And everything you need to play really is in there. Okay, now I'm going to come around to the other side. I'm going to kind of swing the camera over there for a second. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take the dice and I'll put them back in there. Oh, that guy wanted to roll out. Okay, it rolled out. Where are the dice? There they are. We're going to move the initiative counters down here. We're going to put the dice back in there. And I'm going to leave this box up here to remind you that we are going to have, that's going to happen Friday at 7. And I'll keep reminding you of this. And it's going to happen Friday at 7 and Saturday at noon. All right. So let's come back around here. Da-da-da. Now I'm in the front. And I'm going to turn this camera on. Let me see. I'm going to turn it down like this. I want you guys to see this. So you kind of still see me. Hey, it's still me. Okay. So down here, let me show you something neat. So these are initiative trackers that I got on Etsy from someone. I think they came from Italy, believe it or not. But I like them. They're really neat. But this is what I've been using in my campaigns. And this is available here at the store. It's the Pathfinder Initiative Tracker. Let me see if I can turn it straight so you can see it. Okay. And on there are some of the names from last night. So Antonis Stryker, which is my brother's character. Antonis is my son. The Chimera, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. Jefficus, which is my good buddy JB. Some orcs, which the Chimera promised good food and treasure for, if it keeps its word. Grom, which is Jason, is a good friend of mine. And Ulrich, which is is Josh who works here. Okay. So we play. This keeps track of the order in which the characters and the monsters move. Just similar to this. It's just a different form, different step. Oh, it's something about my case that I didn't show you. Hold on. I'm going to show you something cool. So you see John, welcome to John's Dungeon Corner at the Collective, right? You see those over there written. So I've got whiteboards on one side of this. And then for me on the other side, put this this up because this just folds up really nice. It comes all the way around just like this. On my side, 2 of the panels have corkboard. You can see it right here. So I can put little notes to myself. I can put notes on here if I want. And look at that. You can fold it up into just any shape and size that you really want. Okay? So there we go. Ta-da! Oh, that fits. Oh, let's turn this way a little bit. All right, there we go. Let's move this over here. So let's talk about some of the cool stuff that we can do to have fun with. All right, so right in front of you, I built a tavern. It's here on display here at the store. And it's built with the Warlock tiles. This is something that came out a little bit ago. So this is it right here. This is the one that I use. This is the, let me put it down there. The Town and Village original set, the first set. Okay, they've got other sets that have come out and are going to be coming out. It's really neat. The fun part about this is that the tiles, you can create anything, any size, any which way you want, and the tiles will flip. They flip to stone. So if you want to build a stone floor or a wooden floor, you can. All right. In addition to that, so I decided, hey, I need every tavern needs a bar. So the awesome part is there's this tavern set that comes with tables and chairs, some beds, some doors, and a chicken. I got a chicken on the bar. Well, I got a barrel on the bar where the bartender's serving one of his customers. We got a big ale barrel there. Some kind of skin of a bear. Probably not an owlbear. No, it's just a regular old bear because an owlbear is something else. And some customers, and she fell drunk. No, we stand her up. There she is. She's coming in to deliver the morning eggs and chase her chicken. But anyways, we got 2 beds here with doors. Look at that. The door opens really nice there. We got double doors over here. We got the bartender. Comes with a neat little chest. Okay, and the chest opens up too. Look at that. Ta-da. We got shelves in there. So it's really neat. All right. We got some bread and some ale over on the table. And, of course, there's a gentleman sitting over there. Another part, now if I had another set, which I actually own 3 sets of Warlock tiles because I like building big things. But this here is the kitchen. If you wanted to add on a kitchen scene to your tavern. And let me tell you something about taverns. Taverns, everybody has one in every game. I think there are more adventures that have begun in taverns, more stories in books that started that where groups have gone to a tavern to meet. That you can't. It's an essential. It's something essential. I mean, a town without a tavern is like I don't know. I can't even. It's like breathing with no air. It ain't gonna happen. I don't know. I think this is important. It's an important part. I start all my adventures. In fact, taverns are so important in my game that my Adventurers Guild, in every campaign that I run, there's an Adventurers Guild. And it's based out of a tavern. Now, not maybe every tavern has a huge Adventurers Guild branch, right? And maybe some of them don't have any at all, but they've heard of the Adventurers Guild, and there's always a tavern somewhere nearby in a town or a city that has the Adventurers Guild. And in my world, the Adventurers Guild is where you go get your adventures. They secure them. They secure the payment, so you know that you're not going to get shysted by whoever it is you're working for. That if you die, the money that you were supposed to get will go to your next of kin. That kind of thing. And so on and so forth. But it's really neat. So let's talk about some of the monsters. Okay, so here we go. So here goes an ogre zombie. We're not going to put him in the tavern. Oh, he's about to uproar. Help! He's going to crush my head. I crush your head. I crush your head. All right. So there goes that guy. Okay, he's a big one. Now here's one that I painted myself. Here's an ogre. It's just hard to see. But anyway, I painted him. So he's going to fight. He's going to fight the ogre zombie because, wow, that's huge. That's huge. Okay. And then, of course, here comes a warbear. A werebear, excuse me. There he is. He's changed into this is a lycanthrope character who's changed into his werebear form and now has an axe. So he's going to join the fray. And it's going to be a 3-way. No, wait! Remember the chimera I was talking about? There it is. This came out of one of those boxes. Remember the boxes over here? Yep, that's where they come out of. They're really cool. All right, so we're going to put him. He's flying down onto the tavern. And then, here goes some of the orcs. Orcs, remember I tell you, orcs are important. So these all come in these boxes. These are all out of the boxes. Anything that you see that's pre-painted comes out of those cool miniature boxes. All right? So they're an orc shaman. That's a hoot right there. Not only are they going to come and brutally assault you, now they're going to throw spells at you. Oh, and he's going to heal the guys that you're trying to kill. Oh, man, what is up with that? All right, so now I'm going to bring out my favorites, my little kobolds. In fact, I'm going to put them on this case. I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to stand them up here so you can see them all because they're so little. I mean, kobolds are like little kids with pointed spears and bows and swords. Hey, kids nowadays, right? Anyway, so there they are. And all of these are pre-painted. They come out of these boxes. So I have like a little collection. I like the paint, but sometimes, man, Oh, wait, one escaped. He's over here. All right. But you know what? Here go some bigger guys. We got some bugbears now, a whole little clan of bugbears that is hungry and wants to go raid the tavern because they heard that the halfling who cooks there has great food. And if worse case worse, they'll just eat the halfling. What do you want? Bugbears. All right. So, but it's not just all monsters, okay? Check this out. These are cool. These you have to paint yourself, but look at that. There goes my bartender. I used in one of the games. Here goes a barmaid. She's delivering some food. Okay, so she's delivering food to this guy over here because he's kind of hungry, and this bartender's working at this end with the chicken. All right. Then we have a dancer, a gypsy dancer, right? Pretty cool. You can see that, right? Yeah, there we go. I'll do it like that. That's what Steven says to do. All right, so these are stuff that I've painted. But look, here's a cool now. And here's anything. Okay, so let's say you get this wizard in your box, and you were looking for like, the thing is, and let me rephrase that. You can use this as a player character. So there's my wizard character, or my sorcerer character, maybe my warlock character, or just as easily I can go, hey, I need a villain. That's my villain. He's a necromancer, or maybe he's a warlock who's indentured to demonic forces. So he's starting up his own tribunal, or what do they call it? Conclave. Okay, so the miniatures can work both ways. Oh, by the way, remember the halfling cook I was talking about? He does exist. There he is right there. Halfling cook. He's supposed to be in the kitchen, but there's no kitchen. Somebody stole the kitchen. And here goes a noble. Now, this is a pre-painted one. There was a nobleman. So if you need one for your game. So the figurines themselves. Oh, cool one. Here's a bard. An elven bard. Okay.
Showing them too high.
Oh, am I showing them too high?
You're cutting like off their head.
Oh, I cut off his head. Anyway, hey, Jason.
Jason came and left.
Jason came and left. Oh, man. That's Jason for you. Here 1 minute, gone the next. I talked about him. Probably because I was talking about him. But anyway, so now I've pretty much shown you everything I wanted to show you. I don't want to be overwhelming. I never want to be overwhelming, which is kind of why I stop. I usually stop myself at some point. But with that being said, oh, and here we go. Once again, Friday at 7, 12 o'clock noon on Saturday, the pre-release of the Forgotten Realms.
$29.
Okay, so we don't give prices out on this show, sir.
No, we have to let them know.
Okay, so the pre-release is $29, not for this box. It's a box.
Those are prize support packs. Those are set booster packs. The pre-release bundle.
Just come over here and tell them. Come over here so they can see. This is Steven. Okay. Now, he actually works at the collective, so you won't see me here a lot, except on D&D nights and stuff. He works here.
So these are the set boosters, which will be prize support. The pre-release bundle. John, talk for a second. I'm going to go grab one.
Talk for a second. I've been talking for almost who knows how long. But seriously, look. You don't have to jump into the deep end. Like I said, when I first started out, there were only these little books, these 3 little books, and they were no bigger than, they're actually smaller than this. They're like half of this. And they're made of a hard, thick print paper with paper inside. And I've told you about this. And all there was, you rolled, every damage was 6. So if you threw a rock at somebody and hit them, it was 6 points of damage. If you swung a 2-handed sword at them, it was 6 points of damage. But here we go. This is the price. This is the actual.
This is the pre-release kit.
That's the pre-release right there.
So this comes with 6 draft boosters, 1 traditional foil rare or mythic with the foil stamp for the pre-release, 3 traditional foil dungeon tokens, 1 D20, and 1 MTG arena code. Each booster, 15 cards. So $29 this weekend, Friday, 7 o'clock.
Saturday at noon. I'll probably come out.
Probably one of the most anticipated sets in Magic the Gathering history.
Yeah, it's a nice crossover. Like I said, I think it's October, November that the other set's coming out.
I believe it's November that the book for Strixhaven, the D&D book, is coming out. So,
there you go.
That's going to be a fun one too. A lot of people are really.
Like I said, the miniatures are already out. I showed you the miniatures earlier. They're just here. Before I go, okay, one last thing. My brother went and got these for me. So you say, okay, well, what else is there? Oh my gosh. Okay, so here goes Candlekeep Mysteries. Right here. Let me turn this camera. I'm gonna turn this camera back over here so you see it. Okay, so this is
camera's not on.
Yeah, it is. It's not. Oh, he turned my camera off. Ah! Okay, there it is. All right, so let me bring it over here. Let me move it up a little bit. This is Candlekeep Mysteries. Okay, there's a lot of different adventures in here, and it's ranged. So this is really neat. It's a great tool for any dungeon master. So Candlekeep Mysteries. Okay, now remember I kept talking to you about the different worlds or the different areas of the Forgotten Realms. So there's Waterdeep and there's Baldur's Gate. Well, here's the Waterdeep campaign. It's called Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It's amazing. And it's just awesome. I think this one goes from, this will take your characters. So let's say, okay, watch how this links up. Let's say I bought the essentials, the starter set. I bought the starter set, right? For $20. And I start my characters off and they're moving along and I get them up to 5th level. And I'm like, okay, so where do I go from there? I don't really, I love this, but I don't want to buy the essentials kit. I want to move on to something more. Okay, that's me, more. So the Dungeon of the Mad Mage starts at 5th level and goes all the way up to 20th level. So in this book, you can take your characters from 5th level, 15 levels later to 20th level. It's a campaign in and of itself. It's really neat. Okay. But let's say, okay, no. I don't want to do that. I want to start fresh. Okay, that was a great introductory. I learned to play the game. I ran it. Everybody had a good time. They all want to play. But we want to start something with a little more meat into it. Well, there's about as much meat as you can get. This book is called The Out of the Abyss. And on its cover is one of the most iconic creatures of the Forgotten Realms, actually. That is Demogorgon. Huh?
Picture of you?
Yes, this is my other cousin. This is me and my twin. No, this is Demogorgon. He is one of the demon princes of the Abyss. And wow, if you've read any of the Drizzt by what is it, Salvatore, then R.A. Salvatore, then you will sit there and know about this guy because Drizzt ends up fighting him in Menzoberranzan.
Demogorgon, the thing that was in Stranger Things?
No, that's a different one. This is actually a Prince of Demons, and if you look at them, they're different. This is the Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a Prince of the Abyss, but this is really neat. And this campaign goes from 1st to 15th, which gives you another 5 levels that you can add something in to make it your own once you kind of get the hang of things. So that's what I call meat and potatoes of Dungeons and Dragons. Oof. Then let's say, okay, I want to jump off somewhere else. I don't want to do Forgotten Realms, pish posh. That's not what I want. Well, we now have Eberron, rising from the last war. Okay, Eberron has two very unique creatures, character classes, character races, which is the Warforged, which are these giant hulking armors that are given life. They were war machines during the war. And the other one, there's another one in here. I've not played a lot of Eberron, I'm not gonna lie to you, because there's so many worlds so many campaigns you can run but it's amazing. We have it at home. My son Antonio loves the Warforged. That's why. And sometimes you buy a book for more background information. Sometimes the books you'll buy them for classes or new backgrounds. I mean, they all come with so much information in them that you're not just buying a campaign. There's a lot in it that you can do with them. But like I said, just to kind of go back and reiterate, this is the one book that you, as a dungeon master, you're going to want, the DM's Guide. I mean, it's made for us to DM. Okay. I always suggest the monster manual because that's where all your monsters are. You know, this is really neat. There's so many fun monsters, from basic monsters that you can throw at them, you know, at first level, second level, third level, and they're all graded by challenge ratings. So you know how hard or how easy you're making an encounter. They all don't have to be hard. You know, you don't want them all to be simple. Somewhere in between, a good mix of them. And finally, every DM should at least have a player's handbook because, hey, if you're a new player, you're not going to have this sitting in your backpack. All right. So with that being said, I've covered a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I wanted to cover. And I probably forgot a couple of things. I think everything on the wall has been talked about. My thanks to Steve for always setting this up for me.
Hey.
And of course to my brother. Come on out here one last time because he's leaving. He's going back to that wonderful, cold, and frigid place called New York.
It's hot.
No, it's hot now. Okay. But I love him. And once again, from me to you, you guys have a wonderful day. Good luck on all your adventures. And one last time, this Friday at 7 p.m., Saturday at noon is the unveiling of the pre-release Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering Adventure in the Forgotten Realms. Until then, be safe and may the world always